Hey, welcome back to another Prairie Sunset Ranch Farm Vlog. I'm Aaron, and thank you for tuning in, my friends. Well, I'm back, baby. I'm feeling better than ever. I went kind of MIA there for a couple weeks. The whole house is really sick here. We all got that old dreaded, dare I say it, the old COVID. So we're all recovered and we're ready to give her. So yeah, it was a pretty hellish couple weeks, but we got through her and we got lots going on here. So let's get into it. It has been cold here. It has gone from hot to cold. Well, not exactly hot. Hot out here is considerably like -2, -3. So yeah, it wasn't a heat wave, but it was a warm up. It definitely beats -45. But the crazy thing is, it's going from -38, -40 with the wind chill at night to -3 in the morning, and then that same night it goes back down to -38 or -40. So it's really yo-yo, tough on the livestock. But this leads me to the next part. We had a bad wind. We had absolutely crazy wind and cold hit us. So guess what happened? No, the calves didn't start dropping, but I'll tell you what did start dropping. They're about 3 feet tall and they drive a guy nuts. Well, one of our overachieving rams got to the ewes. They weren't supposed to, but one broke in. I don't even know when he broke in. I'd have to look on the calendar. But he got in. He bred. I don't know how many. One for sure. So I've been just basically locking them up every night, precautionary, just due to the fact I do not want any frozen or dead lambs. Lambs cannot last in this kind of cold weather. Winter lambing is very dangerous unless you're properly set up. But I set up the dairy barn. I put fresh straw in there, put the heat lamps on. It's nice. It's like being in the Bahamas in there. So they're gonna do well in there. I'm gonna show you how we care for that lamb after it's born, especially in this kind of environment. And I'll give you some time frames as to the process of comfortably letting those lambs back out into this type of environment. So we're gonna touch base on that. We're gonna go out, we're gonna look after the cows, we're gonna do a walk around, and I wanna touch base how our feed program is going this winter, how the cows are doing, how we are weathering this last year's drought, how we're weathering this very cold, horrible winter with minimal feed. And I'm just gonna touch base as to how and what we're feeding and when. So you might find it interesting. I was really shocked, actually. I took a really good walk around them. Cows are looking real good. So we're expecting them, we're ramping up. We gotta get set up for calving here in the next 2.5 weeks. So I gotta be set up at the end of this coming week. I gotta be ready for calves because there's always 1 or 2 that come early. So that's enough chit chat, Aaron. Let's pitter, patter, and get at her. Woo! Still cold. We got another day. One really severe cold night, another one left. But now I found some lambs. I heard a bunch. So we gotta head to that barn. We gotta take care of everything. We gotta figure out who the mother is, check the mother out, make sure she's got milk, take the wax off her teats. We gotta check to make sure the lambs have sucking drive. We gotta make sure they're not cold. We gotta make sure that they're eating or have nursed. I don't know how new they are. They're probably within the last 2 hours because I just checked on them probably about 3 hours ago. Locked them in the barn. I just went and checked on them. So they've been in the barn for a couple hours. So sometime in the last 2 hours, let's say. So let's get going. If you're watching this Prairie Sunset Ranch video and you haven't hit that thumbs up and the subscribe button, make sure you do it or the lambs get it. That wasn't me talking. That was all the coffee I had this morning. Trust me. No, but do it anyways. Be kind. It's supposed to warm up out here, but it's taking this sweet time, that's for sure. So I'm gonna set up that brooder light over top of the mother. I'm gonna imagine it's one of the ewe lambs, and I'm just not sure which ram. We only had a couple. We got rid of them now. We're gonna be planning on lots of lambs here in the next week, maybe. All right, here we go.
Oh, it's go time.
Lamb number 1. Little cutie, big guy. Big guy, let's get him in here.
Mama's right behind you, Eric.
Okay, Mama, come on, Mama. Here, Mama. Here, girl. Here. Here, Mama. Here, Mama. Come on. Good girl.
May's trying to come in, eh?
Yeah. I'm gonna have to bring her some.
Here.
Yeah, I'm gonna go grab it. Oh, there we go. Oh, that'll warm him up in a hurry. All right, come here, little guy. Come here, little guy. Come here, sweetie.
Show Winnie Bear the lamb, Aaron. Bring it here.
I want a pet.
Look at me. Oh!
Okay, open it up.
I don't even get to pet.
Yeah, yes, let them dry up. We'll come out later and check them out. You can come out with me and pet them after.
You come dress up with Daddy and come pet them after, okay?
Here, Mama. Okay, close it. So we bedded the pen really well. The lambs seem to be okay.
Just that one's a little cold.
Looks a little cold.
Yeah.
It looks like it might have eaten.
She looks full, I know. The first one born. Girl or boy? Girl.
The girl. One girl and a boy. Okay, here, Lamb. Here, Lammer. Lammer, here. Oh, good suck and drive. Good suck and drive.
You excited?
Let's see you.
Let's count. See how you love.
Come on. Let's check your suck and drive. Oh, yeah.
Cold mouth.
No, they're both warm. They might have eaten. You know what? Their stomachs have food on them. Their stomachs have food in them for sure.
Okay, I'm gonna go.
I'm just gonna test her teats here. Hi, Mama. Hi, good Mama. She's young. It's just
We're getting cold here.
okay.
Don't try to disrupt it too much. Okay, let's go.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, make sure she has milk. Oh yeah, milk in that one. All right, I just checked her. Just checked her teats both. One has milk, one has a little bit, but she should drop more. So we're gonna see if she wants those lambs to suck. We really want them to suck. So, hello, Mama. This is lamb. It's a lamb. Look, it's a lammer. It's your lamb. She doesn't like me. Yeah, you love your lamb though. That's good. Your lammer. Big. Hey, Mama. You're okay. You know me. You did good. This one wants to go in. This is fantastic. This one's gonna do well. This one knows what's up. Smart lamb, I'll tell you that. She's brand new. Oh, Mama! Whoa, dude. Well, I'm gonna leave her be. I'm gonna let these guys warm up. They're not gonna get cold here. They're right under the heat lamp. I'm gonna bring her some alfalfa pellets after, but I'm gonna get out of here because it's important for her to settle down, even more than her. Or it's important for her to settle down so the lambs can get used to the program. But right on. We're gonna check the rest of the area here. Make sure there's no more little surprises. When you're lambing out ewes in the winter, in this horrible winter climate, you gotta make sure you have some source of heat. Those lambs will not survive very long out here. I'm talking like you probably got half hour at the most, maybe less, before they become really lethargic. So we always have a heat lamp or a heat source. So we have heat lamps running up top here, completely out of the wind, lots of fresh, clean bedding. We're gonna have to bed it up in here. And then we have our lambing pen, the 4 brooder lights. Gets real warm in here. We have a couple more if we need. We can hang the brooder from any of these lamps. These sights, I just gotta put a door back on here. They broke it off because they're maniacs. But with the animals we have, There's more than enough room here. So we can always make this happen. But number one, you got to get them dried off. You got to get them into a pen with their mother so there's less confusion, especially a young mother. So this young ewe was put in immediately with her lambs because we were uncertain as to her mothering skills, and more importantly, the lambs. The lambs sometimes aren't very bright, but these two are really good. Now, winter lambs, they're going to grow up, they're going to be real tough. They're going to be nursing lots because it's cold out, right? So they need to nurse more often. First thing first, you get them into a pen with the brooder on top because they're damp. They eventually dry off. As they dry off and warm up, mother's going to encourage them to drink. You got to first strip her teats. So I always milk them to make sure there's no wax plug. Lots of times they'll get like this milk or wax plug in their teats. Lambs are not strong enough suckers to unplug it. Same with cows. Cows can be the same way. Less problems with cows though, but more so in the sheep. But we strip the teats, make sure it's all clean. These guys are pretty freshly shorn, so it's all good on their end. But that's number one. Number two, we check their mouths. We check them for sucking drive. We make sure that these lambs have a good sucking drive. I check these guys multiple times, but for example, we grab them. All you do is put a finger in their mouth. They should just automatically, like this guy wants to suck. Like he's got a good sucking drive. So make sure they have a sucking drive. Lots of lambs, it seems like the bigger they are, the goofier they are. They're not so bright. So these two are phenomenal. They're very, very, they're very spry. These are bright lambs. They're smart. They're sticking with mama. They're not crazy. So this is great. So those, I would say, are the main things I would look for in a lamb. You know, especially these guys are dry. They can withstand this temperature. Minus 40, I'd be locking them up. I'd be locking them up in the dairy barn because they will go into snowdrift. I've seen it over and over again, and they'll just stand there. And you'll find a little frozen lamb for no reason. So you got to keep an eye on these guys. They're naughty, very naughty. But if you do a welfare check of the mother, if the mother checks out, if the mother shows great interest in them, you lock them up. Usually 2-3 days, 4 at the most if the mother's iffy. She got locked up for about 3 days because she's very young. She's phenomenal. There's not gonna be a problem here, but I'm gonna come check on them in probably another hour. And when I do let them out, I do check on them every hour for the first few, and then less and less in between. But I've been checking these guys quite often just because I don't want any lambs born out here in the snow. So yeah, no, there you go. Those are the main things you look for. If you have those areas covered, lamb is dried off in a warm area with no draft, preferably over a brooder lamp, which is safely secured over top, away from all straw, anything that can burn. If the lamb has a sucking drive, is not lethargic, the mother accepts them, is really trying to claim them and get them to suck, then you're set. If any of those are off, you're gonna have to work with them. Often you'll have an ewe that doesn't really know about if it wants the lamb. You know, I would consider calling something if it's an older ewe. They're very finicky. Things they can easily be thrown off and not want a lamb. So, but if, for example, if one of these lambs were not sucking, if they were lethargic, I would take it into our basement with a hair dryer. I'd warm it up slowly. I'd make sure it's dry. I would take it back out there and I would feed it a bottle. If it's too weak to suck, you would have to tube them. I will show you what we use to tube the lambs with. And you gotta safely, securely, or you gotta safely know how to do it, because you can cause them to aspirate. You can put the tube down the wrong, down their windpipe, for example, and you can aspirate them. They'll die. You can drown them. You drown their lungs with milk. So you don't want that. You have to really know what you're doing. So heavily research, ask a vet, ask someone that's a senior, you know, senior sheep person that's done it before, because it's very important not to go too far down and it's important to get down the right tube. If we have to do it, hopefully I don't have to do it this year, I'll definitely make a video on that and show you how. But these two are going to be fantastic. Like there's no issues here. So we got lucky with these guys. They're phenomenal lambs. So I'll show you that tube quickly. So what we have for the lambs, if we have to tube feed them, we have this little bottle, and this gets inserted into their stomach, and the tip fits on there. And yeah, you put the colostrum in here. It has to be warm, not hot. You don't nuke it. And this gets inserted down into the lamb's mouth and into the stomach, directly into the stomach, and it feeds out the side here. Very important, you don't push very hard. You gently put the milk in. Make sure to have this on hand. Some powdered we have for both for calves and for lambs. Very important. Now, this is a really drastic measure, but it works. If you have an ewe that will not accept a lamb, just say she has triples, she won't accept the third one, you don't want to bottle rear it. If you had another ewe that lost a lamb, what you can do is you can skin the lamb that is deceased. You can skin it, and we just use baler twine, and we would tie it on to the back, rub it on the lamb that got rejected by the mother, and let that lamb try to nurse that mother that lost the lamb. And honestly, I've probably done it in the past 8 years. I've probably had to do it 3 times, and it's worked all 3 times I've tried it. I'm not saying it's guaranteed to work. We've been very lucky. I was really shocked by it, and we usually leave that on, that skin on it, for probably a week at the most. You take it off because you don't want bacteria to start growing, depending on how warm it is. It's kind of weird, right? But honestly, it sounds crazy. It's a drastic measure, but ultimately you can save a lamb, and you can make another ewe very happy if she gets to raise a lamb, you know. So I know it sounds crazy. I'd say it's not a normal practice, but in a pinch, if you're really hard up, I would say give it a try if you're not freaked out by it, because it worked. That works for calves too. My dad has told me stories. He's done that in the past. So there you go. Those are my lambing tips. That's what we look for here at Prairie Sunset Ranch. We have a love-hate relationship with the sheep, or I should say I do. I really love having the sheep around. We were thinking of expanding a little bit more into the sheep as well. If the hay is okay, I might consider it. I don't know if I'm crazy enough to. Maybe after a couple beers I'll decide to do it. But we like the sheep. They're really good with the kids. It really gets the kids used to handling livestock, and we kind of teach them the safe way to handle them. You know, danger zones. So when they do come around the calves, for example, Hoyt, he has a good understanding of what a safe perimeter is when he doesn't handle the livestock per se, but when he's with them, when he comes with me. So it's a really good introduction to youth and kids. So not just that, they're very good for diversifying a cattle farm. You know, we find that the cows go in and graze, you send the sheep in behind them, and they graze everything the cows don't. So it's a really effective procedure. And now the best thing would be put the cows in there, then put the sheep in there, and put chickens. If you had chickens free range, that would be the best, but we're not set up for that. We can't do that. Out here we'd have no chickens left. We'd have foxes cleaning us out, and coyotes and bears and everything. So the dogs can only handle so much. Well, my path blew in again. Such a bad wind. It's not snowing, it's blowing. It's not blowing or snowing, it's minus 45, minus 50 out. Path didn't blow in, luckily. The wind is just crazy out here right now. Well, we're gonna break up the bale here. Out of the wind, there's no wind here, so They are getting, some of them are showing, really signing for calving. They're looking good. This barley's been a saving grace. It's really kept some good condition on the girls. I'm grateful that we got this barley off in time. And, you know, the feed has been pretty, what feed we made is good quality, got lots of sun. Fortunately, this barley is low nitrate, so everything looks really good. They've been cleaning up the barley fantastic. They really like it once they caught on to it. And I really don't see any problems, all in all, for the year that we had. The horrible pastures and everything. We kept them going with those fields, fencing off those fields. We kept some good condition on them. So they came back in decent shape. So these girls really cleaned up their feeders well. I didn't give them a good field bale or barley bale yesterday. But what I've been doing, how I've been feeding this barley is every second day they get a big barley bale. These bales are pretty heavy. There's lots of grain in them. Lots of grain, lots of edible portions to those bales. So every second day they get their barley, and every other day, so in between the barley bales, they get a field hay bale. And every, I don't know, second barley bale, I'll give them both a barley and a field bale the same day. And then they have unlimited access to, you know, wild hay, some slough hay. There's a couple field bales I try to break up in between them to spread the consistency or quality of the feed around. But this year, everything has to be consumed. So we're not going to have bales kicking around come pasture time. If we have 10 to 20 bales, you know, in the hay storage lot, I think we did good. I don't know if we'll get that lucky, but we're gonna probably break into the that oat silage just for the breeding crew here. So all these the older girls, the veterans, they're gonna get, just this group, they're gonna get the oats grain feed. So I'm gonna slowly introduce it to them on days that I'm not giving them barley. Now, I have one major concern with these barley bales. Yeah, it's great. They're staying in good condition. They're in great condition. It's keeping them, you know, in good health. However, they got calves growing in them. So I have to bear in mind, you know, they're getting a lot of grain, they're getting a lot of barley. So those calves that are growing in there in them right now, with every mouthful of barley that they have, I don't know. I'm hoping that the selection of hay is a little bit poorer hay than they're used to in the feeders. I'm hoping that counterbalances the kind of rich diet they're getting with the barley, and then, you know, with some oats green feed and everything. I really do not want to have to pull calves this year. That's my one concern. So I don't know. We'll see. You know, it's not like they're eating like kings this year, but there's a lot of grain in those barley bales that they're finding. I've been keeping a good eye on them. So we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. Wish me luck. Well, once again, thank you for tuning in to this Prairie Sister Ranch video. We will catch you next weekend with an all-new farm vlog. Be there or be square, my friends. Bye for now. Have a fantastic week. Cheers.